I was there. The night they buried the prince beneath the king's throne. I saw them dig in silence, their hands trembling, afraid to wake the spirits. I was only a servant, a nobody. But what I witnessed was never meant for mortal ears. They told us to forget. They told us it never happened. But I remember everything. This is the story they erased from the royal records. The story of the forbidden bloodline of Alaafin Ajiboye. The secret they never wanted you to know. I had served in the Oyo Palace since boyhood. The Alaafin, Ajiboye the Great, was feared across all Yoruba lands. He was wise, but his eyes carried loneliness, the kind that even wealth cannot fill. One day, after his royal hunt near the river Niger, he returned with a woman. Her name was Abeni. She was beautiful in a way that frightened you. Her skin glowed like oil, and her voice was calm like water before a storm. The elders whispered she was from the Nupe lands, daughter of a trader, perhaps even a priestess of the river spirits. The king built her a secret chamber beneath the palace, a place only two of us knew existed. That was where I first saw the truth. Abeni was pregnant. Months passed in silence. Then, one stormy night, she gave birth to a boy, small, but with eyes that burned like fire in the torchlight. The king named him Adekunle. The crown completes the house. But the joy didn't last. When the senior queen found out, the palace shook with rage. The priests accused Abeni of cursing the royal bloodline. They said her womb carried shadow spirits. The king tried to protect her, but the council demanded the child's death. And so, he lied. He announced to the world that the baby had died at birth. But that night, I saw him, the mighty Alaafin, crying as he handed the child to me. "Take him far away," he said. "Let him live where the throne cannot reach him." And I did. I carried the baby through the forest, under the rain, until we reached the land of his mother's people, far from the drums of Oyo. That was the last time I saw the boy. Years passed like dry leaves in the wind. The Alaafin grew older, colder. He no longer smiled. Abeni died in exile, and her name was never spoken again. But strange things began happening in the kingdom. The king's legitimate heirs, one drowned mysteriously in the river, another vanished during a royal hunt. Only whispers remained. The gods are angry. Yet, one night, while fetching water near the palace gate, I overheard travelers talking. They spoke of a young warlord in the eastern lands, a man who could summon storms, whose banner bore the mark of a serpent. And they said, his name was Adekunle. My blood turned to ice. The dead prince had returned. Months later, the first messenger came, beaten, bloodied, his armor torn. He said the rebel leader was marching toward Oyo, claiming royal descent. The king summoned his priests. The oracle of Ifa revealed a verse that made even the bravest men tremble. The serpent shall return to the house that cast it out. Its fangs shall taste royal blood before dawn. That night, I saw the Alaafin alone in the courtyard, staring at the stars. He whispered to himself, I buried the truth to save the throne. Now the truth returns with a sword I wanted to tell him not to fear. But how could I? I was only a servant, the same servant who once carried his secret son into the forest. When the battle finally came, the sky turned black. Thunder roared as the armies clashed outside Oyo's gates. From the palace roof, I saw him. Adekunle, standing tall, lightning flashing behind him. He wore no crown, but he looked every bit a king. The Alaafin came out to meet him. Father and son, face to face, two lions of the same blood. Their voices were low, but I still remember every word. Ajiboye. You carry my curse. Adekunle. No, father. I carry your truth. Then, a scream, a storm, an arrow flying through the rain. The Alafin fell to his knees. The arrow was meant for the prince, but found the king instead. Adekunle caught him before he fell completely. He wept, not as a warrior, but as a son. I didn't come for your throne, he cried, only for my name. And then he vanished into the storm. No one saw where he went. Only I remained beside the fallen king, as his blood soaked into the earth beneath the throne. The lies that replaced the truth. The elders gathered before dawn. They forbade us from speaking of what happened. The scribes rewrote the story. The Alafin died peacefully in his sleep. The serpent sigil was burned. Adekunle's name was struck from every record, and those who knew, like me, were ordered to silence under pain of death. But I could not forget. Years later, I fled Oyo. I wandered through villages until I met an old griot who told me of a man with a serpent mark behind his ear, a man who healed the sick and spoke of truth and destiny. He said the man's name was Adekunle. If that's true, then the bloodline still lives, hidden, watching, waiting. Closing, quiet, fading drums. So when they speak of royal blood, remember this: not every crown was earned through honor. Some were built on secrets, some on silence. I was there the night they buried the prince beneath the throne, and I will die knowing this truth.
If you enjoyed this video, subscribe, like and share.
And one day, the throne will remember its true heir.